is up, Yu-Gi Tubers? This is HarpyHunter89 and the voices in my head coming at you from the Duelist Den. And for today's tips and tricks video, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a tutorial over pendulums. Now the reason I'm going to be doing this video today is because I have my first ever video request from a subscriber, and this person is pretty new to the game and is a little bit confused about how the pendulum mechanic works. He requested that I do a video kind of explaining it, so that's what I'm going to do, and I hope I do a good job at it. Now, let's just go ahead and start with the basics. A pendulum monster, the most notable trait about it are the numbers on either side of its pendulum effect box, and those are the pendulum scales. Now, the scales are very, very important because they let you know which monsters you can special summon either from your hand or face up from your extra deck. Now, let's say, for example, that I have Ignite Squire, which is a 7 scale, and Ignite Crusader, which is a 2 scale, in my pendulum zones. This would allow me to pendulum summon monsters from my hand or face up in my extra deck that are levels 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, I do want to stress that the monsters in the extra deck must be face up in order to special summon them. And the reason I want to stress this is because I think this is his biggest point of confusion, mainly because he's asked me several times about special summoning synchro and fusion monsters from the extra deck. Well, the answer to that is no. You cannot special summon fusion and synchro monsters from the extra deck if they are face down. You can only special summon face up monsters from the extra deck. Now, the way you get monsters in the extra deck face up is pretty simple. If a pendulum monster, either in the monster zone or the pendulum zone, is destroyed, then it goes face up in the extra deck. These monsters can later on be pendulum summoned back to the field whenever you want. Now, another very important thing to know about pendulum summoning is that you can only pendulum summon once per turn. It is very similar to a normal summon in that respect. So you cannot pendulum summon a bunch of monsters, do a bunch of synchro or Xyz plays or fusion plays, and then pendulum summon again in the same turn. That you cannot do. Once you do it, or once you perform a pendulum summon, you cannot perform another pendulum summon that turn. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of a demonstration here. I'm going into the AI mode, and hopefully I get a decent hand for this demonstration. And of course I have to go second here, which is kind of crappy. Now, the reason I chose Ignites for this demonstration is because they are the best at demonstrating a pendulum monster being destroyed and going to the extra deck. So I'm going to go into a couple plays here against the AI, just, sort of set up my pendulums here. So, we're going to use the effect of, we were going to use the effect, guess we're not now. Okay, so, I have 2 pendulum monsters in my pendulum zones. Now, as you can see, both of these have the same scale, which means I cannot conduct a pendulum summon at all. So let's go ahead and use the Ignite effect to search out another pendulum monster, or another fire warrior monster. In this case, is going to be a pendulum monster. So we're going to go ahead and activate my scales. Now I have 2 separate scales. I have a 2 scale over here with Gallant, and a 7 scale over here with Veteran. So let's go ahead, and now that I have the right scales, I can special summon. Now, as you can see, I can only special summon the monsters that are face up in my extra deck. In this case, it would be the 2 paladins. But I can also pendulum summon monsters in my hand because they fall under the level requirements for a pendulum summon. So let's go ahead and bring those out. So you can see pendulum summoning is pretty simple. They just all come to the field at the same time. And if they had effects that would activate, they would all activate simultaneously and go in a special chain. But that's for another issue. But as you can see, pendulum summoning is pretty simple as long as you have the correct scales and monsters either in your hand or face up in your extra deck that fall between the scales as far as their levels are concerned. Then you can just mass summon them to the field. But I hope this video was helpful to anybody who is confused by the pendulum mechanic. That's primarily going to be going towards newer players. But I do hope that this was a bit of a helpful video. As always, you guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section below. And make sure you follow the Duelist Den on all of its social media pages, which will be linked in the description box below. Also, make sure you check me out on Patreon and support me on Patreon. I could really use the help. That Patreon account is going to be used for funding better equipment for videos. It's also going to be going into pack giveaways and mat giveaways, which I do plan on doing in the future. But I do need to start getting some support on Patreon before I can start doing those for you guys full scale. I do want to get to the point where I am doing a pack giveaway once a week, or either a pack giveaway or a mat giveaway once a week. But I need to start getting funded on Patreon in order to do that. But anyway, until next time, this is Tahlequah and the voices in my head. Just wanted to say that Yu-Gi-Oh is not just a game. Yu-Gi-Oh is life.